Hi everybody. I thought I'd do something a little different today. Well, actually something exactly the same as what this channel was kind of founded on. It's the idea that you have to make do with what you have in the kitchen sometimes. So I'm actually shooting this intro without a tripod and don't have JP with me. I don't have any of my tasters, but I was going to make something for dinner tonight, and I wanted to try this idea that I had after watching a YouTuber called Food Ranger. He's totally worth checking out. He's got millions of viewers, but the dude is amazing. And then I had an idea from, my closest friend from a while back, and then I kind of combined that with the other thing and came up with this idea of creating a cauliflower ball stuffed with seasoned chicken. And then I thought to myself, that's going to be a lot of work and hard, and there's no one here to probably appreciate it, so how can I make that easier? And then I thought, how do I make it so it really conforms to the idea of what we want to do with this channel? How can I take what I already have, make something quick and easy, and make it good? Okay, so first thing, in this bowl I have mixed hamburger and ground chicken. Why did I use those two? Because that's what I had. Originally I was going to make hamburgers, and then I was going to season the chicken, and I was going to stuff it into cauliflower balls. And then I thought, that sounds like it could be a lot of work. So I've seasoned this with this. It's Asian mushroom seasoning. You can buy it at most Asian markets. I'll see if I can find a link and put it online for you. In case you can't find it locally. It's absolutely phenomenal. It tastes great. It's a little salty, so if you're going to use it, it adds a lot of flavor, but definitely don't add salt until you've tasted what you're making. Don't taste it raw. I added garlic powder. That's from a local market that has that packaged form, as well as onion powder. Then I steamed some cauliflower, and I put a lot of black pepper in there as well. We're also going to put some cheese, so Paremsano Reggiano, those are both the same, just 2 blocks. We're going to do some American cheese, and then we're going to do some Swiss cheese. So the idea is going to be to take this, lay it out here, mix this up with seasonings, layer the cheese, layer the cauliflower on top of this pan, on top of that meat, and then roll it up and eat it, I think. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the cauliflower because I think I want to mash it up and season it. So we're going to season it with celery salt. Celery and cauliflower get along really well. We're going to bolster that with some celery seeds. We're going to hit it with some fresh black pepper. I use cherry pepper that I got on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. And I'm only putting links for things that I actually have tried and like. If I haven't, because I just don't know if you can find it, I'll make a notation so you know I'm not speaking for the product. Salt. I'm going to be careful not to overdo this with the seasonings that's in the meat. Little paprika. So keep in mind, really impromptu, kind of winging it. We're going to take it really easy on the salt, depending on how much of this we end up using. But I think we're going to pass the salt because we're going to use the celery salt. We're going to hit some celery seeds. Yeah, that smells good. That should be good in there. We're going to really hit it with the pepper. Okay, now let us start mashing it up. Let's see if it's even soft enough to do that. I'm not trying to make a paste, I'm just trying to break it up. That way the seasoning gets on everything and I can actually spread it kind of flat. I figure by adding this we can add a lot of body without a lot of calories. I normally don't think that way, but I don't know. I think it's a good idea every once in a while to not make a gut bomb. Alright, so the idea here is make it flat as possible so that it fits. And the idea with this is, can we do it without mac and cheese and therefore enable a bunch of people who, you know, either have allergies to wheat or are trying to cut down on the amount of calories they take in, or not eat as many carbohydrates, have an opportunity to have something equally as delicious as when you make this with mac and cheese. Which I can tell you that everyone that's been to my house during a party that's ever had that will attest to how awesome it is. Alright, so we're going to take the big stem out. That's what I'll use to taste the flavor. It's good, but it's missing something. I think we're going to add a little garlic powder. When you do buy garlic stuff like this, if you buy granulated garlic, don't just pour it in your food. It's like eating little rocks and it's gross. You should hydrate that if you're going to use that. Get the powdered stuff. A little powdered onion. Ooh, that smells real good now. I almost feel like I want hot sauce in this, but I don't know if I want hot sauce in it or on it. So we're going to give that a thought and revisit it. Okay, here's another stem. I actually think it needs a little salt. I've said this in our other videos, don't put more salt in your hands than you want to use. Better to take tiny pinches, add it, and then go back and get more. Now the stem. Alright, now we're getting there. Okay, let's put that aside. Oh, you know what? One more thing. And last but not least, a touch of paprika. Don't go nuts. On the screen, you'll see the actual estimated measurements that I use. And I'm really, having cooked since I was a kid, I'm good with that. So you can use those. This gives it a little color, also a little flavor. See if there's any more big stems. I don't want big stems in there anyway. Okay, let's put that aside. Now we have to work on the meat. So for those of you that don't know, this is parchment paper. It's a huge victory for when you're cooking and don't want things to stick. So rather than just spray the aluminum foil with fat, I'm going to use parchment paper. This has zero to do with calories and everything to do with not sticking. If the meat sticks, we'll never be able to serve it. Okay, parchment paper is down. Alright, let's get the meat on the parchment. Now in the meat I've also added a single egg as binder. So make sure you include that one egg. Alright, so the idea is really just flatten it out as much as we can. The parchment paper, I mean you don't want to be like thin. I say we're shooting for a ½ inch. Alright, let's get a The parchment paper is also going to help us roll it up. When I do this meatloaf, it's usually in a roll shape. This is one of the most fun things. Totally inspired by the guys over at Epic Mealtime. We were watching them when they first started, and I got to tell you, they always made me laugh. Always made me want to try the things they were making, and this was definitely inspired by them. Not that they will ever see this video, but thank you. Thank you for that channel, doing fun, great things. Alright, so let's add some cheese. There's no particular order here. It's just layers. So, and as much as you like cheese, add cheese. But if you overdo it, it just may be harder to roll. So, you know, deal with it. Alright, Swiss cheese is on. I would actually have layered this with not only, I've done this two ways. One, stuffed with mac and cheese. The other, stuffed with other meats, like layers and layers of meats and then rolled up. And I will admit, that was pretty amazing, and I will make that for you. Maybe when JP is here, we can do that one. Okay, I think I'm going to sneak one in there because that's a little cheeseless. There you go. Here you go, Boomy. You can have some cheese. There you go, buddy. Okay, Paremsano Reggiano. Going to use a microplane. These you can buy pretty much anywhere. Again, I'll find this one online and give you guys a link. But it gives you nice, tiny little grind. It's really great to use. You can do a lot of different things with it. I love it. My wife bought this for me years ago, and you just take care of it. You clean it and wash it. Sometimes the teeth feel like they're getting a little low. You can actually stand them up. So we're going to get cheese, cheese, cheese. I want to stop there. And then we're going to move into seeing how much cauliflower we can fit. So we're going to put the cauliflower in the middle, like this. Because the idea is going to be to roll on it, and if we put too much of it, and we put too much on the sides, it'll never roll up. I think we're going to start with that. So we're just going to add a little more cheese on the cauliflower. Cauliflower and cheese are good friends. Get those all married up. Alright, now the big test of rolling. Or if we're going to end up having to flip this over and make a standing meatloaf. So I'm getting my hand underneath the parchment paper, reaching up, gently pushing down. See how sticky this meat is? That's from the chicken. Another good reason to use chicken was I thought, you know, there was different consistency, maybe a little less fat, I don't know. So you're going to have to support one side as you kind of try to bring the other one over the top like that. No, you stay there. Alright. Now you just close it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Everything on the inside is cooked. The cheese is going to melt. Just tighten up that seam. Alright. So this is going into a 350 degree preheated oven, and I'm going to shove a thermometer in it. And I'm going to want the outside meat cooked to about 150, 60 degrees, especially with ground chicken. I know for other things you wouldn't, so I think I'm going to take it to 160 on the outside. The inside is irrelevant because it's cooked. So I'll let you guys know when it's done exactly how long it took, and I'll include that in the instructions. Okay, let's take it out of the oven and see what it looks like. Here it comes. So that was about 35-40 minutes, 350 degrees in a convection oven. If you don't have a convection oven, which means it has a fan that kind of circulates the air, creates a convection flow. If you don't have that, it could take a little longer. Looks good. This place smells amazing. Alright, we're going to use a serrated knife to get through this nice and clean. Then we're going to plate. And then we're going to taste it. How's that? Alright, lack of taste testers aren't going to stop us from figuring out if this is any good or not. So, here we go. Take a nice piece of the meat, get some of the filling, because that's really the test. Alright, here we go. That is a huge success. That is absolutely 100% not missing the macaroni at all. Wow, I'm surprised it came out this good, but it's like super good. There you go, look at all that oozy gooey cheese, cauliflower, and if you have kids and they don't eat cauliflower, they'll have no idea. This tastes so good, they won't even care if at the end you told them it had cauliflower. In fact, they probably start eating cauliflower and other vegetables just because you made this right here. That's how amazing this is. I'm going to put a link in the description to the actual recipe I used. I'm also going to ask, if you don't mind, click subscribe. Give us a like if you like this episode. Click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button so you know when we have a new episode coming out. And more than anything, please leave us a comment. Requests of things you want to see us cook. Thoughts, ideas, comments. Did you try this? Was it as good? Did you make an alteration that made it better? I won't know if you don't tell me. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget, you can cook anything. Wow, you want any of this? It's freaking amazing.
Yes, I would.
I can't believe this thing came out this good. Like, damn! I would pay for this at a restaurant. That's how good this is.